Hi, this is Swan from Swan Amity Studios, and we are squaring a quarter square triangle unit using a regular half square triangle Bloc-Loc. Now, I like to show how this functions because not everyone has all of the different Bloc-Loc rulers. So it's not difficult to use a half square triangle Bloc-Loc in order to square a smaller quarter square triangle unit. This is my favorite size of the Bloc-Loc to have available because it works for so many things. But in this particular case, we're working on a 2.5 by 2.5 inch unfinished quarter square triangle unit. I have my Bloc-Loc ready to go. My block is pressed using my favorite method for keeping the center of the unit flat, so that as it goes into the project, it stays nice and flat. But also, I quilt my own quilts, and I notice how much harder it is to go through a seam when that seam is pressed all one direction, instead of nice and flat in the center. Flatter seams, easier to quilt. So, we're going to take our Bloc-Loc ruler, and we're going to line up, and here's what we are looking for. I'm just going to pull that down so we get less reflection from the light. As I line up the Bloc-Loc, what I'm aiming for is to get right to the corner, and then I'm checking to see if I have lined up along each one of the intersection markings so that I'm getting a nice diagonal on the other side as well. Do I come all the way out 2.5 to where the next portion will be squared? And in the center, have I lined up where those intersections are on each side so that I know this little marking is right in the center of my quarter square triangle unit? Yes, it is a little more work than using the Bloc-Loc for quarter square triangles, but if you don't have access to that, if that's not one you've purchased yet, this is a great alternative. I'm then going to slice off the excess that I have on this side, and I'm going to square up the other side as well. Now I have two sides ready to go. Looks good. Point in the corner, point in the corner. We did well so far. Let's go ahead and turn and go back to this side. So we should only have to turn the block once. Once again, we've lined up our Bloc-Loc. I'm going to scoot it down so we don't have that reflection. We've lined up our Bloc-Loc so that we are right in the corner. And now we're checking. Have we come all the way to 2.5? Good, we have. Are we on those little intersection marks? I think we could scoot just a wee bit there. That would be slightly better. Nice. And along all of the edges, are we at 2.5? Yes, that looks pretty good. I think we could scoot down just slightly and be an even better line. Wonderful. And we don't have very much to trim off over here or here. We had a pretty accurate block to start, but we really want a perfect block before we begin to piece. Everything looks good. We've checked all of the relevant markings, and we have trimmed off one side and two sides. We did maintain a little bit of pressure on the top of our ruler while we were slicing, and now we have a perfect quarter square triangle unit. All of our corners line up, beautiful points in the corners. And when they begin to pair together with other quarter square triangle units, we'll see that they come together very nicely, very evenly, no excess, beautifully retained points. Thank you for visiting and watching the video using half square triangle Bloc-Loc to square quarter square triangle units. This has been Swan from Swan Amity Studios. Remember, subscribe to the channel so you always know when a new video is coming out. and visit us on swanamity.com. That's SWANAMITY.com for more ideas in our blogs and in our patterns. Thank you so much and have a beautiful day.